Hello, my name is Amanda, and welcome to Back to the Heart, a podcast for self-discovery, healing, and embracing true freedom. And I invite you to join me as we embark on a transformative journey back to your heart, where we get to choose love over fear. What if the gifts that you have been searching for are already within you and just waiting to be activated? In today's episode of Back to the Heart, I am joined by Elizabeth Plancon, intuitive spiritual mentor, soul purpose and soul gift activator, healer, and founder of the Light Council. Elizabeth shares her powerful journey of leaving the corporate path to step fully into her calling, and how she now helps others uncover their own hidden gifts, align with soul purpose, and rise to their next level. So if you have ever felt like there is something more for you, that inner pull to live in deeper alignment, share your voice, and activate your true purpose, this episode is for you. You'll even experience a live light language activation to open your voice and release fear of judgment. Welcome to the show today, Elizabeth. Thank you so much for joining us. We are going to start with an oracle card that's going to set the tone for this recording, this episode today.
Yeah, I'm so excited to pull cards. I love oracle cards. They're so much fun. I use tarot as well, but those are for specific questions and things like that. For oracle me, it's really like, what does the collective need to know today, or whoever I'm sitting with? What is the message for them? If you're not familiar with oracle cards, most people that create them channel the meanings behind each card and the imagery. Every message that comes through is very channeled. Whether you read the book that goes along with the oracle card, or for me, I usually will use my intuition to see what is asking for, unless it's something that I know Spirit will tell me, read the book. Like, this is important, what it has to say. So let's see what the message is for the collective today. What is the message for the collective? Can I have a card for the collective? These are the Healing Waters Oracle by Rebecca Campbell. They're so beautiful. It's a bit newer, so they're a bit sticky. So give me one sec. All right, let's see here. Oh my gosh, I love this. This says plunge. It says, don't hold back. It's time. Go for it. Dive in. You can already tell what the meaning behind this card is. Really just stop waiting. You don't need to have everything in place. You don't need to have everything perfect before you take that step towards your goal, your vision, your mission, your purpose, whatever it is that you have been holding yourself back from. Spirit is telling you to just go for it and dive right in. I love that.
I love that too. And I feel like that resonates so much with me and where I am. And honestly, a lot of the people that are around me, and just coming off of the 8-8 portal and all the activation and all the different things happening astrologically. Our guest last week spoke a lot about astrology and all of the things that are happening. And it's really cool to see that mirror reflecting, and it's time to just jump right in. Let's do the damn thing.
Right? It really is. Just do the damn thing.
So tell us, Elizabeth, about who you are. Who is Elizabeth? What are her gifts? What is her story?
Yeah. So, what is my story and who am I? I am an intuitive spiritual mentor, soul purpose and soul gift activator and healer. I got started on this journey, and it did not just like I woke up one day and I'm like, this is what I'm going to do. About 5 years ago, I started to have this pull that I was meant to do something else, something bigger, and help people in some way, in a different way that I was currently doing. And I was working in a quote unquote corporate job. It wasn't corporate, but I was working in an office, actually working in my mom's company, which I had started right out of college. And the plan was for me to take over her company when she retired, which would have been in a couple of years at that point. And I just started to get this pull, like, this is not for me. Like, this is not what I'm supposed to be doing with the rest of my life. So it really was like, okay, well, I'm a business major. What is it that I'm here to do? How can I help people in this profound way as a business major, knowing that it was something else, like completely different? So I really just started to open myself up and explore what I was interested in. and find different mentors. It was following a breadcrumb. I first started by developing my psychic abilities and became a Reiki master and my intuitive healing abilities. I always knew that I was psychic or more intuitive. I just never had the chance to develop it, but this was the time. So I did that, still feeling like there was a piece missing, that there was something else I was supposed to be doing. I came across a video one day of a mentor who was teaching about manifestation and mindset. I had started to dabble in it a little bit, but wasn't really understanding it. That spoke to me. And I took a course on manifestation and it completely changed my life. Like 180, who I was, how I showed up in the world, what I thought on a daily basis, how I felt on a daily basis. And I was just like, oh my gosh, I remember saying to myself, I wish more people knew this information. I wish more people understood that they can control their thoughts, they can control how they feel, and they get to decide what it is that they experience in this life, and that we actually create our own realities. So that's kind of what led into me becoming a certified manifestation and mindset coach. And then again, feeling like there was something else missing, realizing that I had kind of pushed my energy, healing, and intuitive gifts away at that time. So then I brought them back together and combined them, and realizing then, finding my light language, discovering that and developing it, realizing that I actually am an activator. My purpose is to help activate others and their gifts, their soul purpose, so we can help the world together. One of my first coaches said this when I was becoming a psychic, and I was like, who's gonna hire me? Like, I'm brand new here. There's a million psychics in the world, right? Like, who am I gonna be able to help? She said, there are over 7 billion people in this world, and I cannot help all of them. So we are all needed. Every single light worker, every single healer, intuitive, everyone that has felt this call to do more, to help more, is needed. That is needed because we need to help create this ripple effect of a higher consciousness. And the more that we do that, the better the world will be. As corny as it sounds, it's the truth. So that's really where I found my purpose, is helping activate those light workers, those healers, those service workers that are here to help others in their, most profound way.
I love that so much. And you're exactly right. Whenever I started this podcast and my coaching business, I came up on those normal doubts of who am I? Like what you said, how can I do this? I thought about the mentors that I've had, and you being one of them, that I've been part of your light activations, and thought, not everybody is going to find you. We are confined sometimes to an algorithm of who sees what and how the information is transferred. And you're exactly right. There are so many people in this world, and collectively, we are at such a better place than we've ever been before, with
Yeah.
so many more people. Even I'm sure you've seen a huge transition just in the time that you've been doing it. This woman I was speaking with last week, she's been in this industry for 20 years. Now it's like, okay, now we're at a place where let's heal the healers and share this message, because we all need to unify together. That's been my goal, of being the connector of the different people that are healing in different capacities, because everybody is reached in different ways. And even if you're speaking a similar message, the ways that
Mm-hmm.
different people communicate, even the similar message, is so needed. So I love that you're doing that and you're able to help other people do that. It's like spreading the love exponentially.
Yeah. And like you said, we need each other. There comes a point where you may not even realize that you're ready for your next level as a light worker, a healer, or a service worker. You may not realize that you have untapped gifts. So the more we are constantly growing and evolving, it's almost like an attunement where you're tuning to the next frequency of where I'm supposed to be in my journey, in my entrepreneurship journey, my healer journey, whatever that is.
Yeah, whenever we're attracted to different people in the community and have this magnetism, there's a reason why you showed up in my Instagram feed. There was
Yeah.
something connected that, has that reflection. For me, there's probably something left there that I haven't activated. It's been such a huge transformation for me in starting this podcast, regaining my throat chakra and getting more comfortable with sharing my truth and stories, and even just hearing myself talk and sharing that with social media is a big change. I came from the corporate world as well, and it was a big shift to put all of that trust and intuition into yourself. And I think so many people have that fear and know that maybe something's just not quite right, even though maybe they are making great money, maybe they do have a great schedule, maybe all the things on paper look right, but there's just still something inside, something feeling like this just isn't it. I feel like there's something more. And to take that step to start trusting yourself, it sounds like was one of the initial things that even allowed you to have the capacity to receive and remember that light language gift was first off trusting yourself.
100%. I mean, when I first discovered that and realizing that I had actually been doing it for years and not even realizing, I mean, not to the extent of how I developed it to become, but the noises that I used to make, the sighs and everything, like all the time. My husband would always be looking at me like, what's wrong with you? I'm like, I'm just breathing over here. I just feel like I had to make noise or breathe or let go, and leaving the corporate, quote unquote 9 to 5 job, that's scary as hell. I mean, I did have a very good paycheck with my mom at her company, right? Had health insurance, all the things that you have with a quote unquote job, right? But to leave that security to fulfill your purpose is definitely scary, right? Of course, there's no doubt about that. But on the other side is knowing that you are fulfilling your life purpose and what you came here to do. And that's the true meaning of this growth and in evolution, right? Is being able to fully experience what you came to experience and express yourself fully.
And part of what I'm doing with coaching my clients is looking at what those old stories are.
Yeah.
And one of the things, and is exactly like what we're saying, we have been put into this box as society, as our parents, or anything of thinking that this is the safe, secure thing, is the insurance, the
Right.
consistency of somebody else giving you a paycheck. But in reality, if we rewrite that story, we have that power is within us. I mean, I'm sure there's plenty of people that are listening now that have been affected by job loss, whether they've got laid off, they didn't get the job, whatever that they expected. But whenever you are dependent upon someone else, how secure is that really? I take such great care of myself now that I'm on this side of my
Yeah.
healing journey that I can't even remember the last time I went to the doctor. I
Yeah.
mean, if I thought that I might need to go to the doctor, I wouldn't even want to go right now. So, what am I so concerned about this health insurance thing that was held over our head for so long? And vacation days, when you're
Hmm.
working for yourself, if there's a day you don't feel like you're in alignment, I've realized how important rest is and how it's better for me to cancel a meeting and take that rest for myself, having that power and that autonomy and that type of security and freedom is so much more powerful for me.
Yeah, I would definitely agree with that. Is having that ability to take those rest days and also to plan the schedule that you want according to your lifestyle. I was talking to someone who wanted to join my monthly membership the other day. She asked me if my calls for the membership were the same every month, and I said no, they're not. They're not at the same time and the same day every month because I travel, I do things, I have kids, like I have all these different factors. For me, I don't feel aligned with having a schedule that is so stringent and it has to be this way every single month because that doesn't work with my lifestyle. Just to be able to have this freedom, like you said, when you're in alignment or you're not feeling well or you need that rest, to be able to say, okay, I'm honoring that and I'm going to choose. And it actually makes you a better practitioner because then you're not showing up just to show up and you're not showing up with half the energy you would normally. That's actually doing a service to your client because you're not coming in there half energy wise to serve them, and we're putting it off to a day where you can be there for them.
If what we are talking about resonates with you, if you have felt that pull that there is just something more to life than the box you have been placed in, then I invite you to take the next step back to your heart. This is exactly the kind of story work and healing I guide my clients through, helping them rewrite those old narratives and step into freedom, alignment, and purpose. And you don't have to do it alone. You can book a free 30-minute intro call with me today at the Calendly link in the show notes below. And together we'll explore what is possible for you. Because the truth is, you are the author of your story, and your quantum leap begins the moment you say yes to yourself. I wanted to shift over to the light language. For somebody who's listening who doesn't know that much about light language, tell the audience what it is and what it is for you, how you are able to use it, and how you realize that, oh my God, I look at what I'm doing. Like you said, I didn't know I was doing it, but all of a sudden you realized, here it is.
Yeah, so light language is considered like an intergalactic cosmic kind of quote unquote language, but it's not really words that we understand as humans. Some people speak words like it sounds like words coming out, but we don't actually know what those words mean. It's more like a frequency. My light language is a combination of mostly toning, like it sounds like loud, maybe like humming or singing, long drawn out notes, which is a frequency that like basically is emitting through my body. Sometimes there's words that come through, but again, I don't really know exactly what it means. I just let come out what is naturally asking to come out. And it's almost like knowing that we've always had. Discovering that for me was very interesting because I remember there was something still missing when I was doing the mindset and manifestation coaching. I felt like there's a new level, something waiting to come out. And I met with a mentor who, she was like, "Oh, you're not just a manifestation and mindset coach. You have light language, right?" And I was like, "I have no idea what you're talking about. I always thought it was cool. Like when I hear other people doing it, how do you get to do that?" And then realizing that it was something that I had always been doing, was making these loud sighs or these loud noises or like just random notes like coming out, just tuning, toning and everything like that. When I actually allowed myself, like you said, it was work on your throat chakra, right? Like it's like taking that cage off, of allowing yourself to fully express yourself and let it come through. It was crazy the vibrations that were coming out of me. My light language basically has the ability to shift and calibrate your energy, whoever is hearing it, shift your energy and calibrate it to the level of frequency where you are fully expressed. Whether we're activating a soul gift or your soul purpose, healing something or letting something go, whatever the intention is I'm setting behind this light language to come through, and asking, the cosmic beings who help me channel it for that intention. It's shifting you to a new frequency and calibrating it to where you need to be for that intention to come through.
That's so powerful. And it's so cool to see how much the frequencies and sounds are coming to the surface now, and how healing they are and how powerful they are. In another lifetime, we weren't even speaking the same types of words, right? We were communicating on a different level, even maybe before sounds. And then the sounds and the frequencies, you look at the dolphins and all the different sea creatures, the sounds that they make is so incredible. And the frequencies that they're radiating across the planet and helping us heal. So that is so amazing that you're able to tap into that.
Yeah. When I first came out saying that I was psychic, that was scary for me, right? Are people going to think I'm crazy? What's like all my friends and coworkers, are they going to think I'm nuts? And then when I had to come out and tell people that I had light language, that was a whole new level of like, are they going to think I'm crazy? It is just letting go of that fear of judgment, knowing that you have these gifts for a reason, and we can't allow the opinions and the worries and the judgments from outside sources to affect the work that you're here to do.
Yeah, that's so true. I recently had a reading with an intuitive, and he said that I learned light language. I can't remember when he said it was, but I was like a emissary to the Syrians, and that's where I learned light language in Egypt. He was like, you can understand it whenever you aren't thinking about it, but whenever you think about it, you're not going to understand it. I was like,
Mm-hmm.
what does that even mean? He was like, you should start doing humming and expressing your voice more. And I've never been one to do that. I've always thought, I can't sing. But now that I'm seeing how connected our bodies are, and especially as women, coming into that feminine essence and our throat chakra and how it's all connected is so incredibly powerful. So, what would you suggest for me or someone else listening that has some curiosity about that and, how to use your voice?
Yeah, I love that question. I don't feel like I'm a good singer either. I never could really sing that well. But the sounds that come out of my voice, I'm like, where did that even come from? I've never even heard that note before. And how long I'm able to draw out notes is crazy to me sometimes because I'm not a trained singer. So it's like, I think it really is removing that ego when you're allowing yourself to fully express yourself, right? It really is asking your ego to get out of the way. And honestly, sometimes I had to almost imagine a little man in my head, and I would ask them to go sit over here in a chair on like the side of my, like in the back of my head. So it's like getting them out of the way and imagining my higher self coming through so I can fully express myself. You could do healing frequencies for your throat chakra or different energy healings. You could do EFT tapping on it as well. Kundalini yoga practices for your throat chakra. There's so many things that you can do to help really allow that. But for the biggest part for me, I feel like is that ego asking it to step out of the way and releasing that fear of judgment of yourself too, right? I remember when I first started, you feel so silly, like, oh my gosh, I'm making these noises. Have you ever screamed in a pillow or just screamed at the top of your lungs to release anger? I remember when I did that for the first time, I couldn't do it. I felt so ridiculous, you know what I mean? Because it was like you're judging yourself. So releasing that judgment on yourself and just letting it fly. And of course, you could do it in a room by yourself at first. And then when you are brave enough to show the world, I'll be there rooting you on.
Yeah, it's one of those things that letting go of the ego, it really is full circle on any and everything. And that's why ecstatic dance has become this popular thing. It's the moving and the flowing of the body, but with the idea of freedom and liberation and not worrying about what you're doing. Am I with the beat? Am I doing it the right way or the
Yeah.
wrong way? It's just letting that feeling come out of you. And that's similar with the sounds. That's so cool.
Yeah, I remember that I attended an event one time and we were dancing to different songs and everyone had their eyes shut, right? So it was like no one's watching you, no one's judging you, just move how your body wants to move. And so yeah, that's I think
Yeah.
another powerful practice of just dancing, right? Moving your body, moving the energy to help you feel in touch with yourself and your body and let go of that judgment.
Yeah. And the crazy thing is with our voice, we never sound like we think that we sound. Whenever I started this podcast, that was a lot of the hang up at the beginning. I hated the sound of my voice.
I think
So, number
everyone does.
one, I got used to it. And number
Yeah.
two, I had to change that story. And
Yes.
that's one of my affirmations is I love the way I sound and the flow of my voice because it didn't sound the same whenever I create a video. I create a reel on Instagram. Like, okay, I didn't think that I sounded like that. It's so
Mm-hmm.
different. Similar to you about the screaming, I hadn't screamed because in my mind, that was like, you only scream if you're in terrifying danger. My husband, he's a musician and he has a song that he released, a Halloween song. And we're like, oh, let's add like this crazy, creepy, like scream. So I'll do the scream. So we recorded this scream. I just let it all out. And I don't know if I've ever let out a scream like that. It was last year whenever we recorded the song, since
Yeah.
I was probably seven,
Yeah.
little kid. And we're told, don't ever scream like that unless somebody's about to stab you. So I let out this scream and it didn't sound anything like I thought it would. It was like this terrifying screech. It wasn't this little girl squeal I thought it was going to sound. And it's wild because after I recorded that scream into that microphone with him, shortly after that, I was able to get the confidence and build myself to the level to start the podcast.
Yeah. That's
I was like,
beautiful.
I just needed to scream.
It's a beautiful form of release. And I think, yeah, exactly that. As kids, we're conditioned so much to behave a certain way and feel a different way. And how many times does your parents tell you not to cry and like all the things, right? So, how often do you stop yourself from crying as an adult? You hide
Yeah.
back the tears, and all that's doing is putting it all back in your body and stuffing it down. Crying is a beautiful form of release, allowing you to feel the emotions. I have a young daughter, she's 9, and she gets very emotional. As a parent, you don't want to see them upset or anything like that. But honestly, the best thing that helps her is I just hug her and I say, let it out. Do you need to let it out? Do you need to cry for a minute? Come here, let's do it. And I will just hold her and rock her and let her cry. And the release is amazing instead of trying to hold it back all the time.
Yeah, it doesn't even matter what it's about. I think the questions that I got were, what are you crying about? Well, sometimes I don't know, right?
Right.
Sometimes it is just a release in your body. So being able to release that and having a beautiful mom that is doing that as a parent sounds incredible. Congratulations and thank you for doing the work.
Thank you. I'm not perfect by any means. There's definitely some days where I'm like, oh, that wasn't the best reaction, but I try to pay more attention to it because of this work. I've been able to realize, especially realizing like how we grew up, and I'm not bashing our parents in any way. Every parent I feel does the best they can. We're growing and evolving in such a beautiful way that we're becoming more aware. We're meant to fully express ourselves in all ways.
Yeah, I love that so much. I wanted to ask you a question of what are you most proud of yourself that you've accomplished in this last year?
In this last year, oh, I love that question. So this last year, after being in business for 4 or 5 years, I didn't have a business name. It was just me, Elizabeth Plancon. I've been searching for a business name since day one and it just wasn't there. And it finally came this year, naming my business the Light Council and honing my own modality, the Light Council method. For me, it was really signifying all the different entities, energies, and cosmic energies that I use my coaching and my healing, right? I'm pulling from different realms, different energies, different entities, like I said. And so it's like this light council of beings that are here to help me serve. And eventually, launching my own light council series where I'm bringing other light workers in to share their work, mission, and, help others as well. So it's just birth into this beautiful thing that I'm so proud of to be able to do that this year. I also got my certification as a Kundalini yoga practitioner with a trifecta alchemy certification, bringing in different modalities, additional healing modalities that I get to use now in my council method sessions.
Wow. Okay. So let's just go through the list. And your council method, what are all of the modalities that you use? Now, you mentioned Reiki at the beginning, and obviously we talked about the light language.
Yes. So, yes, there is Reiki, there is light language. I'm also a silent counselor practitioner, which is a form of rapid emotional release using acupressure and breath work to release stored emotions in our body. So, that's a method that I use. I use EFT tapping, I do past life regressions, and I do timeline therapy, finding when where on your timeline where this root cause of something that you're dealing with or repetitive patterns and releasing it with ease. So everything around what it is that I do in the modalities, I wanted to come from a place of the less re-traumatizing we can do, the best. So not really having to experience everything and relive everything. And that's the beauty of silent counseling. We don't have to talk about the things that have caused whatever it is that you're dealing with. We can find where you store them in your body and release them with that acupressure and the breath work. And the same with timeline therapy, looking at it from a different angle. And then future casting. I love my sessions because they're all so custom. No two sessions are alike. We look at what it is that you're wanting, whether it be activating your soul purpose, your soul gifts, your next level, activating your voice, or if it's something we have to heal. It could be a combination, right? Because these sessions are 60 to 90 minutes. So we have so much time to address multiple things.
Gotcha. I would like for us to take a couple minutes for you to sit and see if intuitively anything comes to you that we want to convey to the audience, people listening today. What's the message that continues with the card that you pulled or just that came to you as we've had this discussion so far?
Yeah, I think what's really coming to me is that if you are someone feeling that pull, whether you've already been doing some sort of healing or service work in some way helping others, or you're in something completely unrelated, but you feel that pull, like you're here for a bigger purpose, that it's not by accident and it's not going to go away, right? Until you answer the call. It won't go away. It will keep nagging at you. You can push it down pretty far, but it will still be there. Can you push past the fear to rise to your next level, to step into that purpose fully and go all in and ask for help. You can do it on your own 100%, right? Like, I think, someone that has hired mentors, like, we can do these things on our own. Everything you need to succeed is within you. With hiring mentors or working with someone, they are able to see the things you can't see, the blocks or the limiting beliefs. And like me, I'm an activator, so eventually it would come out, but I can get you there so much faster. And just as you can see those patterns and help them release them so much faster than they may be able to do on their own. So seeking help, seeking guidance. What actually also is coming through a lot of that voice talk is doing a very quick light language activation for the throat, for your voice, for finding your truth and being able to express yourself fully. We can do that if you want.
Yeah, let's do it. That sounds
I have to put on a different audio setting because Zoom sometimes likes to cut me out. So for those of you, obviously most of you are new to me, my light language is toning. So it could be loud at times, loud humming notes. Don't be alarmed if it gets loud and startles you, but we're not doing a full meditation, so you don't need to be sitting anywhere comfortable. You can, of course, close your eyes and just allow this light language to come through and feel the vibration of it. Take a deep breath with me and breathe out. Asking and sending the intention for this light language to help activate those who are listening, activate their true voice, opening up their throat chakra, activating their message, their abilities, their full expression to come through, releasing all fear of judgment, all fear of doubts, if you're doing it right, if it's silly, whatever it is that's been holding you back, unleashing and unlocking this cage of your throat, of your voice and your message to come through fully. Take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. All right. I hope you could feel that through this activation. Like I said, just a mini opening up that throat and that full expression. Oh, but I felt it. Awesome. So good. Thank you for letting me share that. When I do my activations in a private setting where it's more custom, I take you through, we do kind of, where we're really centering you, and it is a bit longer. I work fast. Like I don't beat around the bush. I don't sugarcoat things. I don't do fluff. So we get moving and shaking. So usually the activation itself is anywhere from like 15 to 25 minutes.
That was incredible. What types of questions you typically ask somebody they're coming in to work with you, that maybe some journal prompts that people can take with them today of, okay, here's some areas that I can do some reflection and see if working with Elizabeth is an opportunity for me?
That's a really good question. I think a journal prompt for working with me is, have you felt the call, the pull to rise to a new level, to be activated to a new gift? Do you feel like there is a gift waiting to come through? And you can ask your spirit team this too. If you are not someone that is familiar with your spirit team, we all have angels and guides with us, and you can give thanks to them for guiding you. Thank you for helping me. Is there a gift waiting to become activated? Or is my soul purpose waiting to become activated? Or even, what is my soul purpose? And if you are someone that has no idea what their soul purpose is, you don't even know where to start, my advice to you is to start exploring and finding things that light you up, the thing that excites you the most, the thing that you're so passionate about that you could talk about all day long is like the path to your purpose, right? I've always been interested in spirituality, in psychics. Like I was fascinated with psychics from a very early age. Always knew one when I was growing up, somehow through my mom, connection or something like that. And I always wanted to know more, not even realizing that was showing me my purpose long ago. So that's really what it was, is it's what excites you the most. So journaling on that, reflecting on that. What do you have an interest on? What do people come to you for help, for guidance, for advice? Or also, what have you gone through that you've made it through and you've learned from that you can maybe help others learn in that way because you've been there, you've been experiencing it, right? Just as me, like I have been that person that was searching for their soul purpose. So, and like, not sure what their soul gifts were. And now I'm helping people do that. I'm really helping them step into their soul purpose, starting their soul led businesses, right? You took the training class, you became a Reiki master or a certified healer, and you're like, well, now what? I have no idea how to start a business. So really what I do with my clients is I help them get that groundwork, help them from the technical things like setting up the calendars, like the emails, all that thing, the websites, how to get their first clients, helping them become visible, not being afraid to putting themselves out there. What is stopping me from diving in? What is stopping me from going head first? What is stopping me from moving forward? Allowing yourself to reflect on that.
From taking the plunge, going back to the oracle card,
Yes,
taking the plunge at the beginning.
100%.
This has been such an incredible conversation.
Thank you so much for having me and allowing me to share my gifts with your audience in the world.
Absolutely. We are stronger together, so we have to keep sharing the word together. Thank you for tuning in to this powerful conversation with Elizabeth. I hope you felt the energy of her activation and leave today feeling inspired to trust your intuition, use your voice, and take the plunge into your purpose. You can learn more about Elizabeth and her work at her website and follow her on Instagram for more guidance and activations. If you are ready to rewrite the old stories holding you back and step into your quantum leap, I would love to support you through coaching. Book your free 30-minute intro call with me at the Calendly link below in the show notes. If this episode resonated with you, please subscribe, share it with a friend, and help spread the message of healing and embodiment. Until next time, keep coming back to the heart.